Here we are, it's Sunday evening, May the 24th, at Hatton Baptist Church. And we have a panel of 3 guests here. Would you introduce yourself?
My name is Renee Keenel from Hatton Baptist.
I'm Deborah Simmons from Hatton Baptist.
And I'm Wendell McCrary from Hatton Baptist.
You 3 are extreme sponsors of the cooperative youth ministry in this area, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, whose idea was the cooperative youth ministry, i.e. the Light Brigade?
It was initially mine.
How'd you come up with it?
I don't really know, but to tell you the truth. As Deborah said, I had a brainstorm one night at church, and something that I thought that our area youth should get involved in because none of them really knew a lot about each other, or they knew each other. And so this was a way of fellowship along with touching so many different people through it.
Another thing was that none of the churches had enough kids in their group to do anything in the city, and putting them all together, they could make a better, effective, much better musical.
Yeah, what did you do to organize it?
We started with Hatton, asking the ones at our church, the younger type people who would want to get involved with the youth, and from there on out we branched to the other churches and talked with the pastors first to well, let's get their permission, see if they thought it would be a good idea. From there I went on to their youth directors, and they helped me find, I asked for 2 people from each church.
There were about 5 churches in total, right?
5 churches.
Okay, what kind of response did you get from those other churches?
They were real receptive. I had no trouble. One of the churches did not get involved because they didn't have any youth, but that wasn't, certainly not because they wouldn't have backed it. They just didn't have a very big church. It was real good to help out.
How did you financially support the ministry?
We started with 2 love offerings from 2 of the churches and built on that. The kids, they had to donate some of their own money for T-shirts and books. And from there on, what we had more or less carried us to the end of the musical, and then we had a love offering at the end that helped us out a lot with our expenses.
Okay, what kind of support did you get from the other adults? What did they do particularly?
Each one of them had their own particular duties. One thing that they were responsible for during the musical, if it was anything as small as holding cue cards for some of the kids, to lighting and to working the tape that Deborah did, and this type of thing.
About the trees.
And the trees, that's right. We had to have millions of trees brought in. Wendell helped us with our lighting, this type of thing.
Okay, what other activities has the musical spurred?
Your turn.
Well, last year we did a retreat at Bear Creek, and most of the children that were in the Light Brigade went to that. It was a 3 or 4 day camp, and it brought them all real close together. And they had time to practice and time to have fun too. And then there's been several youth fellowships at the different churches that were involved.
And there were some that were saved last year too, which is very important.
7 saved, yes.
Would you consider the Light Brigade a success then?
I think so. I think if you would talk to probably most of 99% of the parents, they would definitely think it was a success.
Well, thanks a lot, all 3 of you.
You're welcome.
The band was invited to take part in a big parade and program in the state capitol. He organized band members to help raise the money it would take for the trip. Jack appointed a sales committee. They investigated different sales plans and chose to sell candy. They enlisted the band members and divided the city into sections, trying to contact every home. Jack also appointed a concert committee. These members chose a date for the concert, arranged for a place, and tried to advertise the event well. The auditorium was packed, and the money in their treasury grew by several $100s. But still, as the time grew close for the trip, in spite of the income from the candy sales from the concert, they were short of funds. Marion came up with the idea of asking the local TV and radio stations for time for spot announcements. She thought if the group, he himself went with her to contact the owners of the radio and TV stations. They were thrilled when the man TV station suggested that he send a cameraman out to the band practice to get shots to show during the announcements. As a final effort, every band member went out door to door to ask individuals for contributions to the project.
Road. And really, I think that's kind of what the word bond is. It's something that holds things together. What do you think about bond in the church? We've got a song. We're one in the bonds of love. We're one in the bonds of love. Love is another bond, like rope, that holds us together. It's that tie that holds us together. Okay, and if it Acts 2:44.
Hatton Baptist Church. Shady Grove Methodist Church. Ford City Baptist Church. Mount Pleasant Cumberland Presbyterian Church. And of that church. Old Brick Presbyterian Church, established and built around 1820. The bricks from this church were handmade by slaves. And the slaves presented to build the church. This church is filled with historical artifacts. Take, for example, the chandelier. The chandelier is handmade, and it comes from the city of Sheffield, England. Sheffield, Alabama's sister city. This is the view from the balcony. This is where the slaves were seated during the pre-Civil War time. What do they are all located within a 2-mile radius of each other, and each one of them shares something else in common. It's that they have their own small youth group, ranging in size from 3 to 10. They also all participate in the Brick Hatton Cooperative Christian Youth Association. This is an organization which was sponsored by such activities as the production of the Light Brigade in the summer of 1986, and scheduled for production during the summer of 1987. The race is on. Renee Keenum, a young lady who attends Hatton Baptist, thought of the idea one evening while at church. She thought the area needed to be involved in Christian activities, but realized that each church was limited due to their size. Her idea to bring the youth of all the churches together received lots of support from the people around her. So much support